Good evening, everyone. Welcome to CB5 General Board Meeting for the month of December. I'm happy to see all of you here. We're going to start the meeting now. I know we're a little behind, so my apologies for that. But it is great to see all of your wonderful faces out there. Thank you for taking the time to come out to this meeting tonight. So we're going to get the meeting started now. Can I ask that you sit, find your way to your seats? And if you have to talk, could you please take it out in the hall? Thank you. So welcome again. I'm Alice Lohman, your chairwoman of Community Board 5. We're going to start our agenda with the elected officials' reports. I see the councilwoman, Ms. Nurse. She's on the agenda. Ms. Nurse, you're on the agenda, so just acknowledging you right now. Okay, you're on the agenda. Is there anyone else from an elected official office? Councilmember Banks is downstairs as well. The Borough President's office, welcome and thank you. So we're going to start our agenda. The first person up to speak is New York City Council Member Sandy Nurse, and she's going to discuss with the community the opportunity to purchase at the COPA. Thank you and welcome.
Thank you all. Good evening, everyone. And congratulations to making it to the end of the year. It feels like this year's been a decade. So I wanted to just take a few minutes to talk with you all about the Community Opportunity to Purchase Act, which may go up for a vote tomorrow. Ryan from my team is coming with some fact sheets that he'll hand around. There was some delays on the train, so there will be some handouts. But essentially, in September, I inherited a bill, COPA, which was originally sponsored by Councilmember Carlina Rivera, was introduced in 2020. What this bill does is creates a program for buildings that are in distress and that are in city enforcement programs. So we're talking about larger buildings. We're not talking about owner-occupied homes. We're not talking about your 1 to 2, 3 family homes. We're talking about larger buildings like 10, 15, 20 units that are in city enforcement programs, which means they have a ton of violations. They probably have financial stress. There's probably people in and out of court. These are buildings in these programs will be subject to COPA. They'll be COPA eligible. And what that means is that we are creating a 25-day window of opportunity for a set of pre-qualified, HPD certified preservation buyers. What are preservation buyers? Those are the nonprofit affordable housing developers and the nonprofit affordable housing preservation entities that buy housing, fix it up, and preserve affordability, preserve the ability for it to be below market rate. There's a list of about 24 nonprofits that do this already. They've been certified by the city since 2018. If we get the chance to pass this bill, we'll do a new opening. They'll open the list again and go through a process of recertifying groups. Why do we need this bill? And I'm happy to answer any questions because I'm trying to jam in what I can in the short time and then answer a bunch of questions. The reason why we're doing this bill is because when poor property owners that poorly manage their buildings and create unsafe conditions for tenants want to sell their building, who is buying them right now? It is mostly large-scale investor companies, venture capitalists with a lot of cash. A lot of them are coming from Argentina, Germany, China. We don't know who they are actually, and we struggle to find out who they are because they are shrouded in layers of LLCs. Those are the people buying up these properties. They have cash and they have time. And what they do with that cash and time is wait people out. So tenants who are in and out of housing court trying to get little repairs, trying to get their mold fixed, trying to get their windows fixed, whatever is going on in the building, those investors can wait those people out until they are exhausted, until they are tired, and find somewhere else to go. Then they put some new sheetrock on the building, paint it, and flip it. That's who's buying these buildings. And what this legislation will do is create a 25-day window for our mission-driven organizations to put an offer on that building at the selling rate, and for us to have an opportunity to pull that building into community control, fix it up, and keep the affordable housing there. It's a simple bill. It's complicated to explain, but it is simple in its mechanics. It's essentially like a pre-listing for really bad buildings. There's a lot of misinformation about this. If you live in a single-family home, this has nothing to do with you. If you live in a building with 20 units and it's your building, it probably has nothing to do with you unless you are in an enforcement program, which I imagine you are not in. So that's what the bill is. We're hoping to pass it tomorrow, and I'm going to stop there and answer any questions. Ryan's here from my team. He'll pass out a 1 or 2 pager that kind of tries to break it down in the most simplest form. I will say that this bill comes from a coalition that is rooted here in East New York. We have a lot of East New York organizations that have been working on this bill for 5 years. It's supported by over 40 community development organizations. These are the organizations that the city ask to do this work. When a building is in really bad shape, we're already asking the city to work with these partners to take it into their portfolio and make affordable housing. So we have 40 community development organizations. We have over 28 state elected officials who are in support of this bill. I think we have 32 colleagues who are supporting it. And I'll stop there because I could just rattle off and on, but so. Happy to take any questions.
If you have a question, please line up right here near the microphone so that we can hear you.
Hi, Councilwoman. Is it on? Hello? Can you hear me? Yeah. All right, good evening, everyone. Hi, my name is Malcolm McDaniel. I'm a community activist. People know me for work for the mayor's office, but nevertheless, this question is really geared on what you're talking about. I'm also a real estate salesperson as well, and we had a meeting with a bunch of lawyers, a bunch of us, the MLS, and we were told that if it's anything over 3 families or more, that I don't know if it's true or not. That's why you're here. That they're saying that you must that if it's 3 or more units or more, that this program has the first dibs of getting the property. 3 units or more. So if it's 4 units or more, the 4 units, 5 units, 6 units, the nonprofit organization got first dibs of getting it first, and that's the 25 days. Now the only thing that we're saying is that we just hope that these organizations are really vetted, because people with big pockets will start organizations and they'll be on the waiting list as well. So
on the point of organizations, the last time HPD opened this list, it was 2018. Mm-hmm. Right now, there's about 24 nonprofits on there. These are who we work with all the time. The city, all over the city, these are our partners. The bill will force the city agency, HPD, to recertify. So they'll have to reopen this program, and it's an opportunity to make it stronger, to add more criteria. But these are the organizations that we trust to do senior services, child care services, programs in school, after school. These are the people that we go to. So that's who will be there. The HPD explicitly does not allow a nonprofit that is a subsidiary of any company to be a pre-qualified entity. That's already publicly a policy.
Okay, but was we informed correctly that it's anything 3 or more that it goes
No,
to the...
3 or more was the original bill.
Okay.
So there's been 3 versions of this bill.
Okay.
And I believe what you have in the document shows the progression of the bill. So the original version of the bill that was introduced 5 years ago was a very broad program where if you had 3 or more units, it would be subject to it. That would be like 70% of New York City property.
Yes.
That's not what we're talking about.
Yes.
What we're talking about now are buildings that have been in a city housing enforcement program for over a year. So we're talking about a very targeted set of properties.
Okay.
And if you are a homeowner in 5 units or less, you are exempt. If you are transferring it to a family member, you are exempt. If you are selling it to a family member, you are exempt. There's a number of exemptions that have nothing to do with this program. But if you own a property that is larger, unless you are in one of these enforcement programs for over a year, you are not eligible.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay. All right. There was something else, but I can't remember.
Okay.
I'll get back to
I'm
you.
happy to stay around and answer more questions. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, hello, good evening. With some of the organizations that's going to be taking that job as working with these buildings, are we talking about HDFCs? And HDFCs are low-income co-ops? And are we also working with organizations like community land trusts throughout the city? Because I think with community land trusts, community feels more comfortable with having someone who is you being a part of that so that they can work to give you the best options as far as buildings. So as far as organizations, are we talking about community land trusts and are some of the buildings HDFCs?
So the current, thank you for the question. The current pre-qualified list does not have community land trusts on it, but the bill establishes that they'd have to open this up and do a request for queries, I guess. So basically a request of interest. And to get into being a pre-qualified entity is quite a rigorous process. You have to demonstrate some experience doing this because obviously we want to work with people who know what they're doing, know how to fulfill a mortgage, know how to manage a property, have the administration organizationally to handle those kind of functions. So there's nothing necessarily excluding CLTs when that opens up again, but they will have to demonstrate their ability to do this because we want good partners in this.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Sandy. Good evening. This bill is troublesome to me because it lets more control go out of our community. We've seen from the city of yes, we've seen from the back of the ballot recently, we're seeing more and more of our property leave from the hands of people who live here. And this bill does say nonprofits and for-profits. Does it not say that?
So yes,
Okay.
you can do certified. There are certified for-profits on the current list. And the way this bill is written is there can be only a joint venture. So a for-profit can't do this alone. They have to do it in a joint venture with a nonprofit, and the nonprofit has to have the majority stake in the project.
One of the main problems I have with the bill, I'm glad it's morphed past that 3-family, because in fact, I had a 3-family and suffered very greatly during COVID. And a lot of there are people here, we're not just actually single-family homeowners. We invested in our community. I own 2 properties in my community because I was here and I wanted to invest. when COVID, we've never actually, this 5 years ago, I had ERAP, and you know, again, I work with you on this. ERAP tenants in my house, I lost $120,000 in rent. Nobody ever paid me back. So that's only 5 years ago. So if I had a secondary property, I can easily have fall behind in repairs and so forth, and the city's not addressing that. So I'm not looking at, see, we can't demonize everybody that's here that owns property in this community that lives here. This bill, it leaves those holes and those gaps where the good can suffer with the bad. And see, those one blanket statements like the city yes and does not work in the community, especially with black and brown are predominantly the owners of these properties. When you say nonprofit, I know nonprofit, there are people make $400,000 a year. It doesn't warm my heart. Everybody has their own agenda. So when it comes down to actually supervising my property, I think the best person is myself. And I think that's a right. So I understand what we're trying to do, but try to balance the field on the back of black and brown people who have invested in their communities and been here when nobody wanted to come here. Again, leads me to think that I think there needs to be an EIS, environmental impact study, on the fact what it does to my community, my people and myself, and how it will affect. And my last thing is to talk about that threshold between rent stabilized apartments, 6 units and more, and how does this affect if it transfers to somebody else? Because we have buildings here that are 6 units and so forth on. Once it transferred, does that make it vulnerable that we lose those rent stabilized apartments? What goes on with that? And the person that you said, I want it clear, a person, it has to be a non-owner residence, right? The owner can't live in the building, is that correct?
Well, you got a lot of questions there, Brother Paul, so I need to go one by one.
It's a lot in this bill.
Gotta go one by one here. So, if you live in your home and you have less than 5 units, this doesn't apply to you. Now, if you live in a home and you have more than 5 units, this does not apply to you unless you have been in an alternate enforcement program, which means you have a very high level of violations and stress on your building for a long time to even get into one of these programs. And then if you get into the program, you have to be there for a year. So that wouldn't apply to you unless you have really bad conditions in your building. Now, alternate enforcement programs, you can get out of alternate enforcement programs by dealing with violations. That list changes from year to year. So now the community control piece that you mentioned, I respectfully disagree. I think this is an opportunity to bring it's a chance. We're not forcing anybody to sell. It's a chance. We're creating a small window, a 25-day window where we might be able to have one of ours put in a bid and get that building and take care of those tenants. If it goes to some other company that we don't know, we can't hold them accountable. If it's a nonprofit that we know who they are. We know how to call them. We know how to hold them accountable. That's what we're talking about.
Okay. This is changing so fast. You're down to 25 because it was 120 days before or something.
It was 180 days when I inherited it.
So this bill is a moving target.
Yes. No, the version, what you have in your hand there has the final version information.
But it's 24 hours before I have to decide whether I like it or not.
I understand.
This is the problem. This is a great problem. Things are put on us without us having input.
This bill has been on the dock for 5 years. It's been heard multiple times.
Did you bring it here?
I had 3 months to put in a bunch of feedback. I did not bring it here, and I apologize, but I'm trying my best right now.
But you were a co-signer on this bill originally, right? You co-signed. Were you a signer on this bill originally?
Yes.
So you knew about it 5 years ago.
Right,
but
I
never
wasn't the
spoke to
lead
us about
sponsor, so I wasn't moving it.
See, this is my problem again. We're here, the last people to know, and we have to then make a choice, in fact, or do we agree or don't agree? We have to make an intelligent choice when it comes to our community. Things have been put on us, like I said, the city of ES, the rezoning, everything is being put on us. We live here, we own here, we dig in here. That's not good. We're here tonight to hear you, and tomorrow's a vote.
I also live here, and respectfully, I also live here.
Right.
And
you own property here?
I wish I could own property here.
Yeah, I know.
Lord.
Wait.
Okay.
I wish.
Okay.
Maybe one day.
wait, respectfully. You asked the question, the council member answered.
Right.
We can't go back and forth.
I don't want to go back and forth. I just want to make the point that you wish you owned property here like a lot of other people do. I own property and have owned property in my family for 57 years and lost one while you watch. I'm trying to say to folks who own property here, stop going for this stuff when people come to you last minute and tell you something's good for you. You are adult folks. Let them respect you. Bring this stuff to us ahead of time so we can make intelligent choices. Thank you very much.
I respect you, Brother Paul, as I respect this community and respect Community Board 5, and I go above and beyond to make myself available as much as humanly possible. I can guarantee you not everyone does that in the council.
I'm not going to go back and forth.
Thank you, Councilmember Nurse. Thank you. Thank you, Brother Paul.
Councilmember Nurse, I had have questions about this bill. When you talk about the city enforcement list, are those HPD and DOB violations combined, or is it just relegated to HPD?
Wait.
Okay, we got one meeting.
Yeah, I think it's just HPD enforcement programs.
Okay, so if there's a property owner, a bad actor property owner that has a number of DOB violations, that's not going to be addressed with this.
Yeah. This bill doesn't solve for everything. I
Okay.
will say that.
So that kind of feels kind of problematic. Are properties that are on the tax lien sale or in foreclosure included in this?
No, this is not related to properties that are in the tax lien sale, although hopefully folks will be happy to know that we have added, we are passing legislation hopefully tomorrow that will address even further the tax lien. Essentially, we are getting rid of the trust model that particularly this coalitions in this neighborhood really asked for, and that will address that.
So as I understand it, the only catalyst to getting on this list is violations through HPD only.
Yes, that have been sustained for a very long time.
For over a year.
More than a year,
For more
because
than
to
a
get
year.
into these enforcement programs, there's only a small amount of slots to be in these programs, which means you're kind of the worst of the worst.
Okay, I only have two more questions.
Yeah, gotcha.
A lot of these bad actor landlords own multiple properties. So is it a year, is the year relegated to
To
per
the property,
or
to the property
the
that they
owner?
will sell.
Okay, so they could have been on the list,
Yeah.
just gotten on the list for one property, but it's only the property that they're still on the list for.
It's only the property that they have, that property, if that property is in an enforcement program, then yes. It won't apply to all their properties because maybe they have other properties that don't have issues, but it will be that one and only if they choose to sell it.
Okay. So final question is, you said there's 24 HPD certified nonprofits
Yes.
that couldn't be on the list. Which of them are actively certified and operate in this community right now?
Cypress Hills, Manny, Riseboro's on the other side of my district, and I think now in the 42nd you have some Riseboro. I can send you the link with the list. It's a public,
you.
it's a list publicly there, but related. Camba.
You don't
There's
have
probably
to
a
do
couple
that.
others,
If you
yeah.
could send it to us,
Yeah, we'll
we'd
send it to you.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm going to come from my mother's point of view. She lives in those buildings that you're talking about. And over again, there's new management, right? And they continue to live under the same violations, no heat, no hot water. And a lot of people that live in these buildings are people who are disabled and our elderly people. I understand. I wish that we could get better actors to come do the right thing. But the oversight for me is what's important. Because if you get 5 violations for heat and HPD has to come in and break the basement door open to give you just enough heat so you can be sustainable, we need oversight, right? Because like the young lady said, these people own a multiplicity of buildings. It's not just one building. So if we're bringing in people to come in and to do the, to be the non-for-profit who's going to do it well, Cypress Hill, Rosborough, on everything up and down Bushwick, but at the same token, with the oversight, now, are you and whoever are going to be the people that do the oversight to make sure that these people are being properly taken care of? Because there's bedridden people in these buildings that don't have heat and haven't had heat until about 3 days ago. So my concern is going to have to be personal because I see it. Can't tell me the story. I see the story, right? The story is that people are living on Eastern Parkway in St. Mark's, I'm not saying in and out of district, but who don't have heat, who has to call 311 daily, and people come in and they check the apartment and it's cold. So if these non-for-profit organizations are coming in, who's going to be doing the oversight for these bedridden people? You need to look, we need to look at, I don't know if you looked at, so I'm not coming at you at all. What I'm coming at is I see my mother suffering in these buildings. So it becomes personal. And nobody comes out, and management gets to do what they want to do. And old people, life is tangible for them. So they will pay rent to live in a cold apartment. And that is inhumane, because I was there with her, right? So if people are going to come in, I need to know, we need to know, the oversight. Who's going to be watching what these people do? Because they will sell it to the next bad actor. And I get it, I get it. Non-for-profit, they still Medicaid money all the time. Let's just keep that 100%, right? But the oversight has to be done. Because I saw my mother almost become mentally ill because she was so cold. So if these people are going to do oversight, we need to know it's going to be oversight. And I have to agree with Brother Paul on this, just this one thing. Please stop treating us like Johnny-come-lately. Stop treating us like Johnny-come-lately. Give us the information early so we can actually ponder on it, so we get a fuller understanding with no disrespect and all respect. People are living in cold apartments. Thank you.
Thank you. And I certainly am not trying to treat you like Johnny-come-lately. I feel like I'm in regular communication as much as possible. I did not know that we were actually going to be able to pass this bill or that it would actually get on the aging list. Until last week, Wednesday, I didn't know if we were actually going to even be able to do anything with this. So I'm trying to get it to you as fast as I know that it's possible. In September, we got the bill and started our dialogue with the stakeholders as much as possible we could. I'm sorry I didn't make it to CB5. I will tell you that between this, the Broadway Junction ULURP, and the negotiations going on there, this is the best I can do, and I'm sorry. Yeah. Yes, I believe in oversight over these organizations. And let me tell you, I'll chew the ass out of any organization who's not doing it, because I do it all the time. That's literally our job. Is anybody who's not doing what they're supposed to do, that's what we do. It's literally our charter mandated duty. When it's a nonprofit that's running a building, I know exactly who to call. When it's some company, I don't know who to call. I have to send them to a free legal services. They got to get a lawyer. They got to go down to housing court. I don't know who to call in these companies. I only know who to call, who is the community organizations that I know, that we fund, that they rely on the city, that they do business. They have contractual obligations with the city. There's no contractual obligations with these private entities. We don't know who they are. Most of them do not even live here. So what we're doing is creating an opportunity to create more accountability and more transparency by offering just a small chance to see if somebody's interested in buying the building, rehabilitating it, and preserving it for people who can afford those rents. That's it.
Thank you, Councilmember
Yes, thank you so much.
We appreciate you always.
Sorry to be so late on it. I tried.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Councilmember Banks?
Well, first of all, good night to everyone and happy holidays. Before I go into my updates pertaining to the district, I want to address the COPA. And obviously, COPA has been Seems like I've been waking up every morning to calls on COPA, and I just want to let folks know that we've received a significant amount of feedback on this particular bill, and while I have not made a final decision, and I want to be transparent about my process and how I've engaged in extensive conversations with community leaders, homeowners, I've spoken to the Community Land Trust and different colleagues at both the city and state levels. And I want to be clear, I do not hastily make decisions based off of outside pressure. But elected officials, I've consulted with many elected officials, with community folks before making decisions. And I believe this is important and essential to the concerns that have been brought to my attention with the long-term impacts with this particular bill. And in meeting with the residents of the 42nd District, I've heard from both strong supporters of COPA and also folks who are against the COPA, and just folks who have the same thoughtful concerns that mirror my own. While Intro 902 is intended to address distressed properties, we must recognize that not all distressed properties are the result of bad actors. In our district, many owners of small buildings are family members, friends, neighbors who may simply be facing unexpected life challenges. You see, I support the vision of the legislation, but I must ensure it addresses the problem without creating unintended harm for responsible, well-intended local landlords. I'm aware that the social media campaigns that are out there and the pressure to nudge me in a certain direction. However, my deliberate pace is intentional. My conversations are not with developers, as some folks have accused me of only talking to real estate or speaking to developers. They are with the people who reside here and live in the 42nd Council District. District 42 remains one of the last communities with a strong base of Black and brown home ownership in New York City. My priority is to expand that base, not shrinking it. And I want to say that again. My priority is to expand that base and not to shrink it. I'm committed to protecting families who have built generational wealth here and want to ensure long-term stability for our community. And at the same time, I'm fully committed to ending the predatory practices and holding bad actors accountable. So my final vote will reflect what is in the best interest and the long-term growth and the stability of the 42nd Council District. And I want to applaud Sandy. Sandy, give her a round of applause, guys. I know the bill is well-intended to address some of the issues that have been facing our community, especially these distressed buildings. And I want to applaud her for really sitting down and listening to her colleagues, listening to residents, particularly with narrowing the scope of COPA, which was something that was brought up. And also, too, I know it was brought up by Ms. Fisher about the HFDCs, and this bill is also being pushed as ownership, giving ownership to tenants, and that's important. I think that's important to preserving Black and brown communities and building wealth. So as we go forward, tomorrow will be the vote, and we're definitely, we got to make a decision as to what direction we're going to go. The conversations I've had, I'm satisfied with the questions that were put forth. And I know, Brother Paul, we've had multiple conversations on this particular bill, and I hear your concerns. I know the questions about the amount of units. It's 5 units or more, which is an accurate statement that was put out there. I am concerned about the non-for-profits, these 25 qualified non-for-profits, but I know there's language in the bill that will support creating rules and hopefully creating a new list of nonprofits who will be able to compete for these particular properties. And I think it's important, because a lot of these nonprofits, and I've stated this over and over, even on the qualified list, there's no CLTs, there's no community land trust that exists on that qualified list. But I'm hoping through the rulemaking process that we can create a framework that would allow for making sure that we get nonprofits, local community-based nonprofits, that can really have the bandwidth to really deal with these distressed properties. So I want to just say that I want to give the bill a chance to continue to have the conversations even up until tomorrow, and you will see the way I vote the day of the vote that's stated. Also, I want to just let folks know, I want to thank folks who reached out. I lost my grandmother over this couple of days ago, and I want to thank those folks who reached out and gave their condolences. We are definitely dealing with this. It's a very difficult moment in my family near the holidays, and I want to thank those folks who reached out and made their commitment to just give a condolence to the family and to myself. We are, last week, we addressed the issue of sanitation. As you do know, I'm a member on the Sanitation and Waste Committee, and we were able to address the issue of the illegal dumping that's taking place on Van Sinderen and Dumont. This is an ongoing problematic section that dumping continues to persist. And we are making sure that we'll be actually having a meeting coming up with a high-level meeting with sanitation, hopefully get some cameras. I know Sandy had given a olive branch to possibly use one of those cameras that you have left over, that you've allocated. So we're hoping we can get one of those cameras there to help continue to identify those folks who are dumping in that particular area. We're seeing across the district constant dumping in certain problematic sections of the district. And we're going to continue. My office is committed to making sure we address that issue when they're brought to our attention, and being boots on the ground. As we see those areas in the district, we are definitely jumping on it. Also, too, we want to remind folks we're having some up-and-coming holiday events. This Friday, we're going to be having a movie showing at the Food Bazaar. So please come on out. It's going to be at 5 p.m. It's open to the public, especially our young folks. On Saturday at 12 p.m. at 2237 Linden Boulevard, we'll be having a food distribution. So please come on out. And on Monday, we'll be doing our toy giveaway, our second annual toy giveaway at the Pembroke Community Center at 6 p.m. We want to remind folks, too, as we go into the new year, budget session is going to begin. To our nonprofits, budget season is quickly approaching. Application cycle is going to be open for the first week of January and into February. So we encourage non-for-profits to apply for the discretionary funding, and not only just to apply, but make sure you're reaching out to my office so we can make sure that those organizations and whatever projects and activity they want to put forth falls within my priorities. And also, too, we also want to, regarding the shooting that occurred in my colleague's district, we want to continue to keep those family in prayers. We know there was no one that got murdered, but there were young folks who were injured and got shot. Some of them are in critical condition. So we just want to remain vigilant in that matter. And I believe the person is still out. So we want to make sure that we continue to call for any folks or anybody who's seen or heard anything, please call the authorities. Constituency services, we're still here to help you all. The office is open Monday to Friday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And please reach out to the office. I have an amazing staff that has been consistent with addressing issues in the district and has a proven record of getting results done. And again, guys, thank you so much, and God bless you, and we'll see you in the new year. Thank you much.
Thank you, Councilmember Banks. Yes. And condolences to you and your family. And please, 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 if it's not private, please share it so that we could show our respect. But you definitely have our condolences from CB5 and the community.
Sorry, I didn't want to segue back. It was a little awkward transition. But I just wanted to note that in response to the nonprofits question, in the bill, the commissioner can suspend, they can suspend or revoke the certification of any organization that is not complying with this program and delivering the best for our folks. So I just wanted to answer that because that came up quite a bit. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Nurse. Do anybody have any questions or comments for any one of the elected officials before we move forward?
Councilmember Banks, I just wanted to ask, because you said you didn't know how you're going to vote tomorrow, but I just wanted to ask how you became a co-signer of the bill, because you're listed as a co-signer of the bill. So I just wanted some clarification on that, please.
Well, we read the bill, and that was when we co-signed. We were probably one of the first co-signers on the bill, and we decided to support the bill. But I've done this before in the past, the original bill, make that clear. And right, at that time, the original bill, which was a bigger program. But I want to just say this as well, guys, that I've been known to sign on to bills, go through my deliberative process, and I've moved off of bills right before the vote because I made a decision. So that's my deliberative process. But I just want to say this. I am not going to be pressured into supporting any piece of legislation unless I am clear with my community, and I just want to make that clear. There's no pressure. There's a lot of outside folks who are trying to weigh in on this bill, and they're trying to, I've been getting calls from people that I've never spoke to a day in my life. Leave me the hell alone. Let me speak to folks within the 42nd Council District, and those are the folks I'm going to listen to, and those are the folks I will take into consideration when I make my decision. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Edie from the Borough President's Office, do you have anything that you want to report?
Happy Kwanzaa, Merry Christmas. The Borough Hall President. Community Board applications are live until February 6, 2026. Join us in 2026 for Divine Dwellings Cohort. We have a free kids ice skating event December 29th and the 30th. Everything is on the flyers on the back of the table. And that's all.
Can I ask you a question? I have a board member or two that said they already submitted. Is there a way that we can find out whether you guys are in receipt of it?
Can you just later on just give me the email and then I can just reach out to you tomorrow? because I
Okay.
can speak to Caroline and we
Okay.
can just.
Thank you. So we're going to go into the regular board business now. I'm officially calling the meeting to order, and we're going to do the board member roll call. I'm going to have the Chief Compliance Officer do the roll call for today.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Alyssa Abernathy. Deborah Ack. Alfred Adams. Amelia Allen. Shani Bell. Thank you. Miss Nydia Bonifant. Thank you. Mother Bright. Alton Brown. Charles Bullock. Orissa Cameron. Natasha Cherry Perez. Thank you. Juan Colon. Thank you. Ethel Cooks. Thank you. Rachel Ellison. Thank you. Dwayne Faison. Thank you. Miguel Feliciano. Present. Ms. Fisher. Present. Thank you. Mr. Florentino's present. Jessica Franco. Dwayne Frankson. Odessa Finn. Jabril Gaskin. Aura Goodwin. Thank you. Ms. Granville. Thank you. Jimmy Giddy. Thank you. Thomas Haynes. Suzanne Jacobs. Ebony Johnson. Amia Johnson. Roe Johnson. Thank you. Grace Jones Roberts. Thank you. Darren Linson. Thank you. Alice Lohman.
Present.
Andrada Mitchell. Judith Nareen. Thank you. Kelly Pierre. Evelyn Pugh. Alberto Ramos. Tanisha Ritter Hudson. Wilma Rivera. Abdul Sattar. Albert Scott Jr. Tanae Snuggs. Thank you. Isaiah Thomas. Luz Torres. Emily Walker. Monique Wallace. Gina Watson. Hazel Worley. Madam Chair, we have quorum with 30.
Thank you. I will entertain an approval of the agenda for December 17th, 2025. Ms. Anna Fisher, second by Ms. Ack. I heard you. I didn't see you, but I heard you. Isaiah did have his hands up. I also entertain an approval of the minutes of November 19th, 2025. Isaiah Thomas makes the motion. Is second by Ms. Anna Fisher. Thank you both for that. On the agenda now we have the Deputy Inspector Dion Hines introducing the Q team with CB5, but I know he's not here. And Mrs. Is it Duncan? Who's going to speak on behalf of the inspector? You guys can come up, NYPD. Welcome, and thank you for coming.
Good evening. Thank you for having us. My name is Sergeant Montes Dioco. I'm the Quality of Life Sergeant. I just got the position a couple days ago. I've been in the 75th Precinct for 2 months. I've been on the force for 10 years. I was a detective prior to this in the Crown Heights area. I'm going to introduce a few of my guys here. I know you're probably not aware of this, but their main focus is the 311s, quality of life conditions as well. They specifically right now are working nights to target a auto crime plan for car break-ins and robbery pattern as well. I have Officer Volpe, Officer Frag, Officer Lancelotti, and Officer Duncan, who's the commanding officer's assistant as well, who she works directly for him as well. That's pretty much what we do, so you have an idea of what we do out here day out and night as well. We have a day team as well, who currently is at training for quality of life as well. So this is what we have. The program started in April, just an FYI as well. So this is what we do as well. Thank you.
So the Q team is now replacing the NCOs. Can you speak a little to that?
That is correct. So the NCO program was replaced by the quality of life team as well. It's basically sort of the same, but it's not, where they still haven't established with community members as well. They still attend the community meetings as well. I myself was an NCO prior to being a sergeant and a detective, so I am familiarized. There have things that's changed. Like I said, there was a big focus on the 311 system, where officers who were focused on the 911 calls were now responding in a timely manner to the 311s. But now that we have the Q teams, their main focus is that, so they have to respond to these locations in a timely manner. That's why we have 2 teams, the day teams that come in about 10 in the morning, I think, or 12 in the afternoon. And then we start at 5 or 7, it varies depending on the condition. But they still have it established with the community as well. They have the community contacts for major events. Any major issues that occur out there, they still have point of contacts as well. We do have business cards today if you want, after the meeting, if you want to exchange information. Like I said, I'm the direct supervisor for the night team, for the Q team. The day team supervisor could not make it. He's on vacation this week. But I can also pass along the information if you do need contact as well.
The Q team, is it broken down into sectors like it was before? And if it is, how do the community get in touch with the different sectors? I know before when we had NCOs, it was more hands-on, where you had the NCO's number, if something was going on, you could call them, but I hear you saying like the 311, 311, 311. What happens if somebody don't want to call 311? Because a lot of times it's so much information you have to give. Not only that, it takes forever when you're calling 311. They have you on hold forever trying to, give this complaint. So.
Sure, no problem. I have Officer Duncan, who's willing to answer the question right now.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Shalona Duncan, and I am the Community Liaison Officer for the 75th Precinct. So any questions that you guys have, concerns or issues, I'm going to give you my phone number. You can reach out to me. If you don't feel comfortable calling 311 or, if it's a hassle, you can give me a call. And I'll relate that message to the Q team, and I'll also relate that message to the inspector. Let me know when you guys are ready, and I'll give you my phone number. It's 929-453-0137. That's 929-453-0137. I can also give you my email. It's SHELLONA.DUNCAN@nypd.org. You can email, call, text, and I'll be sure to respond to you in a timely manner and get that matter or issues, whatever you're having, taken care of in a timely manner.
The community, do anyone have any questions, comments, or concerns for NYPD while they're here? Okay. Ms. Rowe Johnson.
You as the community liaison, Officer
Yes.
Duncan,
Yes.
you deal with the day tours and the evening tours?
Yes.
Okay.
So, for example, if I get a complaint of illegal dumping at 127 Pennsylvania Avenue, I would reach out to the sergeant, and he would know what sector covers this area, and he'll dispatch that job.
Okay, thank you.
So pretty much now it boils down to one person disseminating the information to the different tours, or
Not necessarily. You can call 311. You can reach out to me. I know some of the Q team members do have the community members' information, and vice versa. They can also reach out to the Q team. They have business cards. They'll distribute their business cards this evening. So if you have an issue, you can reach out to the members, and they will relate that message to the right sector.
anyone have questions, comments, concerns?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening, everyone, and good evening, NYPD. We appreciate your hard work and endeavors with the shortage of officers that have been taken away, so we appreciate you out there every day on the force. My question have to do not only for NYPD, but the elected officials as well. How are we doing with the sex trafficking? It's kind of complicated. I know that's not an area that you handle, but what is going on, Councilmember Banks and whoever else is here, with the young girls that are out there being trafficked and prostitution?
Who is that question for, Tammy?
Well, we've been working, and we've had multiple conversations with Commissioner Tisch, because obviously we know that the Penn track has been a major concern and a major issue. There has been sweeps that have been done, but it's just putting pressure on PD to be consistent with the sweeps back there, and also apply the same type of approach and strategy that was done in Roosevelt, where that issue was completely eliminated. So we're gonna make we're actually calling on the NYPD, I guess with the new Inspector Hines, or Deputy Hines, who knows the 75th pretty well, who's been here, and I'm hoping that working with PD, we can finally address this issue, along with some of the CBOs, and really put together a task force. And I believe there is a task force that is together, but we just have to put pressure, continue to put pressure on Commissioner Tisch to make sure that they don't forget about East New York when it comes to the Penn track. Trust me, it's an issue, it's a concern, and we definitely want to make sure, but we got to put pressure, and I will be willing to do a co-sign letter with some of the other electeds, the community board, to let the commissioner know that we need the same type of attention, the same type of approach to deal with this issue that has been plaguing our community, that had went away for quite some time, but then came back. All right, so we're definitely aware, and we'll definitely work with the elected officials and community board to address that.
And before you sit down, so my main concern with that is, what can we as community leaders, churches do to kind of like be a back, help for the young women? These are young girls. I'm pretty sure they're not even from New York. I've seen them out literally butt naked. They're around places like sanitation, Amazon, and so we don't know if these businesses or the workers, not putting anybody on blast, would be patronizing, because sex sells. What can we do as a community to help these girls?
Well, we know prostitution is one of the oldest professions in the
Absolutely.
and I've been consistent with saying this, that we need to go after the Johns. That needs to be the focus, and that was something that was done in one of the sweeps where they published some of the supporters' names after they were arrested. But if we remove the Johns, if we go after, and if we're consistent with the sweeps, I think we could eliminate the problem. Because if we take away the demand, the traffic, the activities will definitely have to go away. And listen, this problem has actually mutated in different areas too, because there was reports that they were actually, the sex workers were actually using some of the storage units to perform acts.
Some of
and that's something.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
What
was it? Some of the what machines?
The sex workers or the prostitutes, whichever.
So they was using what kind of machine?
They were using the storage facilities, units to perform acts, or they would be rented out, and they would use that as a place to go and perform their act, or they're being picked up at the site and they're going to some of the local motels, or what we call hot sheet hotels, that still exist in our community, and we just have to have a comprehensive approach to stomping it out, and that's why I was a big supporter of the Safe Hotels Act, which basically went after these motels, because I didn't know for years that motels didn't need a certificate of, there was no type of paperwork needed to open up a motel. And that particular act brought more regulations onto these hot sheet hotels to also make sure that they couldn't, patrons couldn't rent the hotels out for 2 or 3 hours. So things of that nature. So it has to be a comprehensive approach in dealing with this issue. And we're hoping in our administration to work with PD, work with the community to finally, hopefully, stomp that issue out.
Thank you so much. All right, thank you.
I just want to have one comment as far as the prostitution issue that's going on. Born and raised in Brownsville, they had something called Stop and Frisk, where they had sweep days in Brownsville, Tuesday and Thursday. Most of the people in our community know that Tuesday and Thursday, watch out for the police. They're gonna come in, harass you or bother you, see if you have, drugs, or even if you just, wandering around, they stop and frisk you. You could do the same thing with prostitution. A sweep day for prostitution, Tuesday and Thursday. And the stop and frisk, that was a lot more black men going in jail. The prostitution is limited to certain corners and areas, and that should be something easier to, conquer. That's what I want to say. Thank you.
I wanted to also point out that it's not just the Penn track. There's a Glenmore track. It's the LIR. There's other hot areas where this is happening that we need to go. And I know it's not in your district, so some of them, well, not all of them are. And so, yeah, the Penn track is, but the Glenmore track is in the other council, in Sandy's. So we need a targeted approach, but it was concerning to me that when the community member asked the question, the Q team didn't really come up with, immediately with a response. So I'm just curious, does the Q team address those issues?
Okay, hi, good night, everyone. I'm Detective Barry. I'm here at Youth Strategy Division. And basically, it's a compound. I start with, first of all, the youth trafficking have started. It has even evolved even on the internet. We have a whole unit that is designed and work with the FBI and cross-state and deal with different aspects of it. It's not just a precinct level.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
For clarity. You are from 127?
I am from Youth Strategy Division. This is why I turned out of. So
right.
I am part of the. They just give me a new title. I'm sorry that I don't even know, but I'm citywide. In regards to that. So I deal with most of the youth programs that happens in the city of New York. So I deal with some of the youth trafficking. Some of the kids that's been in my dance team has been part of that. and that's what we got them out of. And it's a long process to get them, just for the youths, the kids, to speak about what is going through, because some of it start from the internet, Minecraft, different things, and then they're able to think. So it's an intricate area in which we to work together with different units. We work with the DA, the FBI, and we have a specialized unit that basically track and deal with these issues. Now, one of the things that everyone, the young woman asked earlier is, how can we all help? It's being diligent with what our children are doing, being diligent, find after-school program, ask them to meet someone that, the girls that I rescued came to me and spoke to me, and I was able, and that was a hard sell for them to do. And there's still some of them that wouldn't speak, because you need a complainant in order to say that, hey, this is what's happening, and go after these people. So it's not just making the sweep, as everybody suggests. It's not like, oh, you have a gun, this is it. No, you need a victim to say, this is what is happening, and I am doing this, and you have to prove it in the court of law. So it's a whole big compound that goes also with the laws that needs to support this. And we have to enforce what we have, and we have to go by the guidelines that's given to us to press those charges, because we could know it's going on. It's how are we going to prove it and bring those people to justice and then stop it from happening. You know what I'm saying? We could pick up the people, but we can't pick up somebody for just being indecent. We have to have a crime that goes with that, because then it's harassment, right? So everything goes back into what laws are we actually enforcing to say that we are making these sweeps, and is it going to stick, to make sure that we are prosecuting these people based on what it is. Because the case that I was involved in, it took 5 years for the person even to come to trial, and it's still going on right now. And there's a lot of things that we can't really even speak about, because some of them is minor children. We're talking about, some of them is older, but some of them start as early as 12. The kid I have started 12. So it's young age when having problems.